In today's lesson, we'll be solving equations with fractions. In this situation, we have an equation. -4 is equal to x plus 3 over 4 subtract x plus 1 over 2. The first thing I want to do is to separate the fractions, but what exactly does that mean? I'm going to separate the numerators from the denominators. The -4 on the left is going to stay exactly the same since we haven't done anything with it. The denominator over 4 is going to go here, and the numerator x plus 3 is going to go here. The subtraction sign is going to stay the same. The over 2, which was the denominator, is going to go over here, and x plus 1, which was the numerator, is going to go over here. You'll notice that there's nothing over here and nothing over here. I'm going to place a 1 in both these empty spaces. I'm also going to put brackets around what used to be the numerators. Now that I've separated my fractions, we need to find the lowest common multiple of the denominators. This is sometimes referred to as the lowest common denominator. So we have a denominator of 4 here and a denominator of 2 here. To find the lowest common multiple of 4 and 2, we'll need to write out their multiples. So 4, 8, 12, 16, and you can go on and on. 2, 4, 6, 8, and again, this goes on and on. You'll notice that the lowest common multiple is the number 4. Now that we have the lowest common multiple, we'll want to multiply everything by the lowest common multiple. But what does everything mean exactly? Well, I want you to consider this term as one group, these terms as one group, and these terms as one group as well. We're going to multiply everything we just highlighted in gray with our lowest common multiple of 4. I'm going to write a 4 over here, I'm going to write a 4 over here, and I'm going to write a 4 over here. Again, that dot is just another representation of a multiplication sign. We can now focus on 4 multiplied by -4, 4 multiplied by 1 over 4, and 4 multiplied by 1 over 2. Let's do a rough work down here. So we have 4 multiplied by -4, and that is going to be equal to -16. Therefore, you're going to replace what was circled in blue with the number -16. Over here, we have 4 multiplied by 1 over 4. Now, when multiplying a whole number by a fraction, sometimes it's easier to change the whole number into a fraction. So 4 is the same thing as 4 over 1. And when multiplying fractions, all you need to do is multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. So 4 times 1 is 4, and 1 times 4 is 4. Now, 4 over 4 is the same thing as 4 divided by 4, which simplifies to the number 1. So we can replace what we circled in blue here with the number 1. And last, let's multiply 4 by 1 over 2. Again, we're going to change this whole number into a fraction. So 4 is the same thing as 4 over 1. And when multiplying fractions, all you need to do is multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. 4 times 1 is 4, and 1 times 2 is 2. 4 over 2 is the same thing as 4 divided by 2, which is equal to 2. And we're going to replace what was circled in blue with the number 2. As you can see, we have now placed our numbers. At this point, this equation should look familiar to you. I want you to focus in on the terms in front of the brackets. You'll notice that I highlighted -2 and not just the number 2. Using the distributive property, we're going to be multiplying everything inside the brackets by the term outside the brackets. So 1 multiplied by x gives us 1x. 1 multiplied by +3 gives us +3. -2 multiplied by x gives us -2x. And -2 multiplied by +1 gives us -2. And over on the left, the -16 is going to stay exactly the same since we haven't done anything with it. At this point, I want you to identify like terms. You'll notice that -16, +3, and -2 are like terms, while 1x and -2x are like terms. Remember, like terms like to be together. I'm going to move the +3 over and the -2 over so that they're together with the -16. Generally speaking, we want to keep numbers and variables on separate sides of the equation. In this situation, I'm putting all my numbers on the left and keeping all my variables on the right. So this -16 is not going to change since I haven't done anything with it. But when I move a term over the equal sign, it becomes the opposite. So +3 is no longer positive, it is now negative, and -2 is no longer negative, it is now positive. The 1x and the -2x stay exactly the same since we haven't done anything with them yet. Over on the left, I have -16, subtract 3, plus 2. And that is going to simplify to -17. On the right, I have 1x subtract 2x, and that is going to simplify to -1x. I now want you to focus in on this -1. What exactly is it doing to the variable of x? Well, it is multiplying. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I'm going to divide this by -1. But what you do to one side, you must do to the other side. These -1s are going to cancel out since they're opposites, that x is going to stay the same, and -17 divided by -1 is going to give you +17. Therefore, x is equal to +17.